Welcome to AASHTO Resource Q&A. We're taking time to discuss construction materials testing and inspection with people in the know, from exploring testing problems and solutions to laboratory best practices and quality management. We're covering topics important to you.
Welcome to AASHTO Resource Q&A. I'm Brian Johnson.
And I'm Kim Swanson, and we have a follow-up episode to our December podcast. What are we following up on, Brian?
Well, we are way past the time limit for saying Happy New Year, but this is our first podcast of the year, so Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
In mid-February. But this podcast episode is a follow-up to, like you said, from our last one in December. And what we did is we challenged our listeners to send us some of their 2026 New Year's resolutions for quality at their companies. Mm-hmm. Now, as things go with our solicitations to listeners for content, we didn't get a lot of action.
We did not.
I went with Plan B. And I reached out to more laboratory contacts that I had recently communicated with, and I asked them if they had any 2026 New Year's quality resolutions. Mm-hmm. And I got some bites.
Yes, we did, thankfully, for your initiative, because, our listeners, while there are many, are not very active.
No, I don't know what the deal is. I would love it. If you're listening to this, it's like, just let us know you're out there.
It really would do a lot. Like, it would make our month, I'm sure. If once, like, anytime anybody says, "Oh yeah, I listened to the podcast," it's like, you did? Like, because otherwise you're just a number on the analytics I look at. So like, I know people are, but it's nice to have a person say it.
I'm always delighted / irritated when I hear that, because I'm like, I'm thrilled that somebody listened to it. But at the same time, I'm like, why don't you just you can let us know?
Yeah, I was going to encourage everybody to say hi and tell them you listen to the podcast at TechX next month. It's like a couple weeks away. And I was like, you should definitely run up to Brian and say, "Can I have your autograph? I hear you're on a podcast."
Yeah, I'm sure people will be doing that. We might as well get to that first. So we are preparing for the technical exchange here in March in Louisville, Kentucky. If you have not signed up and registered and booked your hotel yet, please do so. It'd be great to see you out there, and we can talk about quality there. I'm working on my presentation still, much to many people's chagrin. I'm still working on it, but truthfully, I will be working on it until I give it. Yeah. Because I'm always thinking about, like, what can I do? How can I tighten this thing up?
Continual improvement,
always on my mind.
Mm-hmm. Sometimes it's great, and other times it's just, trying to perfect something that's already perfect. So sometimes you got to know when it's good enough.
Yeah. Good enough. Good enough is a good start, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Actually, it's kind of funny. Like, as I prepare for TechX, I'm thinking about so many things. I'll start presentations that are totally irrelevant.
I'm aware.
To the I went over it with Kim yesterday. I started and I was like, you know what, that would be a good one. And then I looked at my stuff that I'm going over, and there's nothing that it fits into. So that one's just going to exist in my brain and on my computer until there is a time to go over it.
Maybe we'll have a show and tell podcast so that you have to listen to or watch on the YouTube is the word I was looking for, and you can go over it then. Maybe it's a podcast and not a TechX session.
Maybe I have another one that I really like that I never have gone over with people about knowledge.
Yes.
And have I
You've talked about
it. That?
You have talked about it. I'm not saying you wasted my time.
I'm really proud of that one. I'm like, this is great. I would, like, if I saw this online, I would definitely listen to this thing.
Yeah.
But I wrote it.
So you might be a little biased.
I'm a little biased. Yeah. Just a little.
Just a tiny bit.
Anyway, we are going to be giving other presentations and having panel discussions and workshops. And if you do come to the technical exchange, be prepared to be an active participant, because you will get the most out of it. It's okay if you want to hang back in the beginning because you're not quite comfortable yet, but you will be comfortable by the end, so you might as well just jump in.
Yeah, I think with TechX, my advice to attendees is always just like, everyone there, you can learn something from everybody there, all the attendees, the speakers, but they can also learn from you. So don't hoard your knowledge. Like, realize that you are part of that exchange and that you do have valuable contributions, and don't second guess that. Because I think I've seen a lot of people like, well, should I what I do or what we do is whatever. But everyone's there to learn from each other, not just the presenters. So attendees make the exchange part possible of the technical exchange. So
that's a great point. And that goes, that's related to this topic that we're talking about today, with New Year's resolutions related to quality. We talked about quality yesterday and some of the ways that, what that means to people and how it manifests itself in different organizations. And I think that communication of quality, your thoughts about quality, or the things that you are doing that you may not think are important for other people to hear about, are important for people to hear about. And we see that even in our own organizations, and we consider ourselves to be pretty quality oriented. But there's always this moment where I might think about something, like, let's say I just learned something and I think, should I share this with the rest of the team? Or, well, what not just the team, but the organization? Should I send this information to anyone? Should I send it to my team? Should I send it to another team too? Should I send it to the entire office? Should I send it to all of AASHTO? Like, so you think about those things, because you don't want to overburden people with information, but at the same time, you do, if it's something useful. And if you can create a culture in your office or your company where you do share those good things that you've learned, imagine if everybody did that when they learned something new that was interesting to them, and nobody said, don't send me stupid emails, or don't waste my time with emails. What kind of environment that would be? That would be a really a great environment of continual improvement, if people were not afraid to share the things that they learned with their colleagues. And I would encourage people to do that, even if somebody says, don't waste my time with this, ignore them, because they need to get on board with having a growth mindset and adopting continual improvement.
I was just going to say, talk about growth mindset. And so that's not only sharing what you have learned, but then also what you've learned from your failures. Like, so we talk about like what you've learned of like, oh, this is new information. Other people should know this too. But then also when you've had a quote failure or something didn't quite go right, to then share what the lessons learned were there. Like, oh, this ABC, it didn't really get us the outcome we wanted, but maybe it's because of this. Do you guys have, you know what I mean? And like, it's a collaboration of sharing knowledge. It's not a one-way thing, I think is an important too, of like, you have that collaborative environment, and it's not one person sharing one thing, or, like things all the time to a group of people, that it's a conversation of quality.
Absolutely. And you touched on another key point, is learning from failure. Failure is truly the best opportunity you'll ever have for learning. It's funny, when you're younger, you hear that from older people and you think like, what is this loser talking about? Like, that's not right. And then you continue to learn like theoretical things, but without applying it, without applying what you think you've learned. And then as soon as you start applying it, you start making mistakes and you start really learning, right? But it's so hard to come to terms with that when you're young and you haven't really done a whole lot yet. But it's so true. Like and it's if you could come to terms with that earlier, it would be very helpful. So
well, and I think
I'm trying to teach my kids that.
I think that's something that you have to keep on. You have to keep on relearning that. At least I do, because I don't love to fail. Like, I don't think anybody, most people, bad. Most people are like, awesome. Like, I learned how to not do that. Like, yes, you can say that logically, right? Like, I learned what didn't work, but like, you want things to work like the way you want them to work. So it is definitely a lesson that I keep relearning and having to reteach myself that failure is okay, and sharing what like the failure with other people, it's not a thing to be ashamed of. It's a growth opportunity, and you have to look at it that way. But I have to remind myself to look at it that way a lot. It is not easy. It is not fun to be like, hey guys, I failed at this. Like, I wanted X, Y, and Z, and A, B, and C happened instead, or something like that. So it is something you have to relearn. And I think just keep practicing being okay with failure. Sounds weird to say. That sounds so weird to say out loud, but it's true.
You are right, and I actually have a tip. None of this was what we were going to talk about today, by the way. But I had an experience this weekend that is a great learning opportunity. I encourage other people to do it. It's a low stakes way to fail that you can, if you like you said, you can train yourself to be okay with it, right? And I would say take some low stakes activities that you can fail at and think about, like, try to really absorb that concept as you do it. So I will tell you what my failure was this weekend.
Perfect.
I decided I really wanted to make some biscuits.
Okay.
And I was like, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to make the best biscuit bacon, egg, and cheese sandwich I've ever had. And I looked up some recipes on biscuits, watched some videos, and I'm like, okay, I got this.
Yeah.
So I did it, and I made the biscuits, and they were not great. They were okay. They were, I would say, very average.
Okay.
If I went to a restaurant and I was served those biscuits, I would say, those are biscuits. I identify those as that food, but they are not the best ones. They weren't terrible, but then I started to look. After that, I was like, I can't wait to make them again.
Yeah.
Because I know, like, I consider it a failure, what I did, and I know that the next time I'm going to improve, and I'll probably fail in a different way, but I am going to keep doing it until I get what I want out of this thing, and then I'll be happy with it, and then I'll probably lose interest in making biscuits, but that's okay.
Your hyper fixation on getting the perfect biscuit
I really
recipe.
want to do it.
Yeah, and I get it.
And I'm not a perfectionist.
Yeah.
I like continual improvement. I mean, I'm very into that, but I'm not, like, it doesn't have to be perfect. I mean, it'd be great if it was, but that's okay.
Yeah.
But it's a way you can kind of, like, get that mindset if you don't have it, that failure is okay. Like, you can pick something kind of low stakes.
Yeah.
And work on it.
Yeah. I think I've seen a quote or something on social media from someone smart, maybe. I don't know where it even came from, but I like it. And it's, you have to be brave enough to fail at something new, right? So, like, that is part of what you're saying, right? Like, you're not necessarily like a baker by trade, clearly. No. So, like, to be brave enough to fail at something new, I think is important. And that is a good way. Like, you're right, low stakes way. Like, yeah, maybe don't try, like, brain surgery as a thing to practice and fail at. But, making biscuits or making a new recipe or trying something new or learning a new hobby that you kind of stink at. Yeah, I think that's definitely a good lesson to learn and a good way to practice failing.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's okay. Like if you're not like if you don't need to teach yourself how to fail, that's good too. And I mean, you can apply this to anything, and really, it's like you should just be doing stuff, like taking chances, doing things that you're not 100% sure are going to work out.
Yes.
To get in that mindset.
Yes. I'm showing not my age, but taking chances, make mistakes, and get messy. Miss Frizzle, Magic School Bus.
Oh,
lessons, yeah, lessons to live by from Miss Frizzle and the Magic School Bus is take chances, make mistakes, and get messy. Were your kids not a fan of a Magic School Bus?
That's great. Yeah. So we did watch the Magic School Bus. They did reboot it. They did
did they?
A new version of it.
I don't know if I approve of that, but okay.
All right. Now that we've talked for 20 minutes about stuff that was not planned to discuss, let's get into our actual quality resolutions discussion.
Yes.
So I got a great response from John McCarthy of ECS. He's the Senior Director of Quality Assurance. And he touched on a lot of the points that we often talk about. So number one is training. So he has a goal this year to work on some internally developed training modules on various QMS, quality management system components, and teach people all through the organization, from technician to director level people about some of these concepts and some of their policies and procedures that lead to quality improvements. Training is, I think that's probably, if that's not something you're working on, put that on your list, because that's where I think that's like the biggest shortcoming our industry has, is actual training related to quality topics, instead of just here's your job, this is what you're going to do. Another thing is more communication related. So like kind of what we were talking about earlier, sending out these little newsletters, QA moments, sent out weekly or bi-weekly, emphasizing lessons learned, and changes to standards and other things.
One of the things that I saw that he sent that I am just like, yes, we need to do this internally as well. Like, I feel like this should be part of ours, but is the standardized folder and file structure for records and stuff. So that's standardized and consistent within the organization. I think that's probably something a lot of organizations have an issue with. I'm assuming, maybe it's just my bias that I know I have an issue with it. So, but I'm assuming other laboratories have that. But I think it's something like that you might not think necessarily is a quality, goal or, New Year's resolution. But even something simple like that, I think is an amazing and probably harder than you think it's going to be from personal experience to come up with the storage and hierarchy and naming structure. So good luck with that one. But I think that's a example of something that you think is small but would have a big impact across a lot of, improve a lot of employees' interaction with quality related things, if that was the way to say that. I rambled there for a little bit, but I think you get it.
Definitely. And I know that formatting, organizing, all that stuff is really important, but it's hard to find time to do it, because to do it right, it does take time. And sometimes other people need to get involved, and it's hard to collaboration on things that are really tedious is a challenge. We've always struggled with kind of a knowledge management issue over the years, where we have so much information kind of scattered about, that we haven't really found a great way to consolidate it and to make it so that if you have a question, you can quickly get to the right answer. There's a lot of noise from discussions, because a lot of times the questions that come up are things that have never been standardized. And there's no clear answer, but there has to be a consistent direction to that answer for us. So it's a bit hard to pin down, but we have to have something. There has to be some decision made on these ambiguous things so that we can move forward. So that's been a challenge.
And documenting that for easy reference later, like what you were saying. Like that, I think, is like, we make decisions, but then in X amount of time, do we remember that we made that decision, or why we made that decision? Or when that question gets brought up again, do those factors still warrant the decision that was made, or do we need to make a different decision, or whatever, that kind of stuff?
Yeah, and the people who bring this to light the best for us are always new employees.
Yes.
Anytime we get new employees, they ask a million questions, and it is awesome.
Yeah.
Because when we're like, we don't know, like, well, put it on the list.
Yeah.
That's something we have to do. Let's fix this. So I love when we get new people who ask a lot of questions. And I know some people don't like that because it can be irritating if they ask a lot of them, but you have to, like, that's where you get a lot of growth.
Mm-hmm. Continual improvement. You have to look at the questions as like the opportunity of like, oh, we've lived in this so long and like we know why X, Y, and Z, but if it's not easy for an outsider's perspective or a newcomer, that's not great.
Nope, it's not great.
It's not great.
So you can do better. Okay, so other ones. So John gave us just so many good ones. Some about doing better internal audits and management reviews, and there's just a lot there that's awesome. And I would encourage other people to sit down and think about what they want to make improvements on, and start working on it. When you make those goals, let me ask you, you talk about goal setting a lot.
I do.
Do you have any tips for people about ways that they can, I guess, take those thoughts that they have about things that should be done and try to put them down and make them actionable and help them lead to success in solving those problems?
With goal setting, personal or organizational goal setting, is that it really needs to connect to your values, mission, and vision. If you have a goal, or you have something like, oh, I'd like to do this, or we should be doing that, taking the time to really draw the clear, direct line from the outcome that you want to the organizational principles, to your quality objectives, to your organizational values, vision, mission, that kind of stuff. Draw the clear line of the outcome. Make that very clear, because I will say sometimes the why, like why that outcome is important, is more important than the goal itself, because the how can change. Like if you want consistent whatever for the outcome, maybe it's not what you think. It's the naming structure. Maybe it's a different thing. Maybe it's something else. So you might be thinking the avenue to the outcome is one path. But if you focus on the outcome and not the path, and make sure the outcome is connected to your things, you may find better ways or different ways to get there. If that might not answer your question. Did that answer your question?
Are you saying, okay, let me ask you if I understand that.
Yes.
Are you saying not to be transfixed on the methodology?
Yes.
And like be open to changing it as you learn more things along the way? Is that what you're saying?
Yes. So what I often say is the why is so important, and that's the connection to the other things, and the outcome that you're looking for. The why is so important because the how can change. So if you are wanting a specific outcome and the things that you're doing are not getting you there effectively or just at all, then your how might be the wrong how. Like your avenue, your methodology, like, oh, this online tool or this out of the box solution that we're going to buy, or all of these things, or this training that we're going to do might not be the right thing for the outcome that you want. Because if you're not getting that outcome after multiple attempts at different strategies, like that's what a lot of the missing pieces are sometimes. That if you're focused on the how or the why, and then the connection to your bigger organizational picture and your personal picture of your values, mission, vision, quality principles, if those are aligned with the outcome and the why, then the how will find its way. You can like be creative in the how. You don't have to be rigid of like, well, we're going to do this with this. Like, does that make sense? I don't know if I made it more confusing. Probably.
Yeah, it does. But if you aren't watching the YouTube video, you should, because Kim's hand motions made the response very complicated.
You're not wrong. I might cut all of this out. I have the power in editing. I might cut it all out.
That's true. You have the power. You can make it what you want. But I would say, like, I think sometimes, you know, we call ourselves Resource for a reason. We have a lot of experience in things that people don't have experience in. And you know, if you want to follow up with Kim on any of these things that she's talking about, feel free.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Feel free to reach out if you're like, hey, I'm interested, or I'm curious about what you were talking about with goal setting.
No one's
I'd like
going
to know more.
Based on previous experience, nobody will. But I love. Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, it's not. I love that.
Yeah, I mean, use what you got, right?
Yeah.
Like
no. For sure.
We're here. We're here, and we're happy. Like so John McCarthy, who submitted some of those ideas,
Mm-hmm.
He and I communicate regularly about all kinds of stuff. It's not all just like, hey, what's going on with this laboratory accreditation issue?
Mm-hmm.
It's like we're trying to build this culture of quality, not just in our organization, but in this testing field, this construction materials testing field industry in general. So be part of it and reach out at any time. And I've got another respondent, John Maroon from UES in Reno, Nevada. He's a lab supervisor. We've been communicating about a couple things recently, and we haven't communicated much before this. So I was really appreciative that he reached out. But he's got some things he's working on too, which I think are really awesome. Using an automated Excel-based calibration log to improve consistency and reduce human error. That's great. Those are awesome things. Like we've been trying to do that too, because anytime you've got humans involved, there will be error, and those are learning opportunities, as we talked about before. But making, automating certain things that can be automated and help improve, make things more efficient, more repeatable, like those are great. And also by trying to incorporate email notifications and alert staff when there are deadlines coming up. That's another thing that John's working on. So those are great improvements. And I'm sure that those are heavy on people's minds if they're lab managers or supervisors. And I would also encourage people to reach out to their other people in the industry too. I mean, you can talk to us, you can talk to other people in the industry. A lot of times there's regional groups that get together regularly and talk about some things. They may not be focused on quality topics all the time, but use those opportunities to have side conversations about things you're working on.
Yeah, especially like we were talking about at the beginning at the technical exchange next month, right? Like it's that opportunity to expand your professional network with quality-minded people in your field, right? That you can share and get ideas with. And I guess the tip that you asked and for forever ago, and I didn't say because I was working around it. It's be creative with the solutions. It's basically what boils down, where you have that desired outcome that you want, and you think email reminders are going to be the one that gets me that outcome, or like this one system and these tools are going to get me this outcome. And maybe it's not. Maybe there's a different way to do that. So get buy-in and input from other people as well, because there might be a better way to get the outcome that you're hoping for. So really it's about not being rigid in the how of your outcome.
Yeah. Yeah. And you know what? Sometimes you're going to work on things and you're going to throw it out and you're going to say like, oh, I just wasted all this time. Don't ever feel like you wasted time, because everything you threw out was a learning opportunity for you. And it's just part of the way things work. If I got mad every time I did something that didn't get used, or like wrote a document that was never published, or any of that stuff, that I have tons of stuff like that. And you know what? It makes something else better. Whether, it's none of it is a waste. I'm never going to feel bad about that. And I don't think anybody else should either.
Yeah, I will say I do get frustrated when that happens. But it is, you have to think about what you can take away. Like, all right, well, that's not what I wanted, or that's not how I wanted that to go. Again, the failure part of it. But it's, okay, what did I learn from it? How can I take this and incorporate it into the next go around, or something like that? So I think, that's easier said than done sometimes, of not get too frustrated, not feel like you wasted time.
Yeah, it is easier said than done. And it definitely, your experiences will shape how you deal with that. I got another one. So I wasn't sure if I had time to talk about this, and I don't, but I'm going to say it anyway. So one update that I wanted to tell people about that we made recently. This was something this is in the category of, we did this a long time ago and never actually enacted it because we weren't really sure what to do. So there was like a lot of stuff done that never actually came to fruition. But we did finally take action on it. So we had this standard. So there's a standard C42. It's drilling and testing cores of concrete.
Well, of course it is.
ASTM C42, AASHTO T24. It's kind of interesting that those numbers are flip-flop between AASHTO and ASTM. I'm sure that was not done intentionally. It's just the way it worked out, but I like it. So anyway, this standard, we had been accrediting for it just alone. Like, you'd be accredited for this standard, but we didn't always know which labs were doing the drilling and which labs were just doing like drilling and testing, or just the testing of the cores. So we have recently, I emailed everybody who's accredited for those standards, and I said, what are you doing? Are you doing the drilling or the testing, or both? If you're doing the drilling, please send me information about your drilling. And I got such a great response.
Nice.
I was really, it was interesting, because what I was told would happen was not what happened. I was told that almost every one of those laboratories would tell me, yes, we do the drilling. That was not the case. It was actually closer to, it was under 20%.
Oh, wow.
That responded to me and said that they do the drilling. Some people said, we specifically don't do the drilling because we don't think it's something that we want our technicians to be doing due to safety concerns.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, that's cool. So those laboratories, they don't have to be accredited for drilling. That's why we split it up. So that if they don't do it, they don't have to worry about it. That's fine. You don't do it, great. If you do it, we want to accredit you for that, so that if there's an agency that's looking for a testing firm that drills and tests it, they can find that.
Yeah.
So anyway, we did it. We got the survey. I sent the survey out, got lots of great responses, photos and reports and videos and all sorts of cool stuff. And the people, this is what I really like my job sometimes in these interactions. I mean, not always, right? But I got so many people who were like, we are very proud of what we do for this. And here's some great examples. Like, and I love hearing when people are excited about what they do.
Yeah.
And I got this really great training video from somebody too, that they share with their staff. And I was like, this is so great. Like, I love the excitement that people have with their work. So I got some responses. We made the updates to the directory. We're all done with it. And some are still trickling in, and that's fine. And we're dealing with those. But then other people, like, as we go through the tour, we'll split it. Like, if they want to show us their drilling, or CCRL is actually the ones who would see it, they can present it then during their assessment, and we'll add it to their directory listing. But when we first split it, we split it for those who responded, and just went in with the assumption that they had always been doing it. We just hadn't recognized it. So their accredited since date for the ones who did response matches the old, like the old one. But for new ones, they'll get a new accredited since date on the drilling part. Yeah, so I wanted to let people know about that because this is the kind of thing that doesn't go great with an email. It's like, I think it's better to hear an explanation of it. But I think that's it. I think we've covered this topic the way we wanted to, and then some. So that's going to do it for this episode, and I hope to see you at the Technical Exchange.
Yep, and go to ashtoresource.org/events for information on the Technical Exchange. And again, be sure to ask Brian for his autograph when you see him there. Thanks for listening to AASHTO Resource Q&A. If you'd like to be a guest or just submit a question, send us an email at podcast@ashtoresource.org or call Brian at 240-436-4820. For other news and related content, check out AASHTO Resource's social media accounts or go to ashtoresource.org.